Professor Pole was created by Evolve Dance Studio, Honey's Artistic Pot, and United Pole Artists.
So it looks like you're adjusting it a second time. You bring it up high, and then when you come up on your knee, you're bringing it up high.
Yeah, it's almost like you bring it up high. Yeah, you're right. So when you land your V, I bring it up as high as I can while I'm still sitting. But once I get up on my knee, I can kind of reach even higher. This makes getting up off the ground much easier. Also, here's a little added touch. So I never really noticed I did this, but then when I actually saw it, I was like, oh, I like that. So you can add a head twirl in the middle of all of it, and it just makes you look like you're so much more professional. So you do your V, you land, head twirl, and get it.
Now the head twirl makes it so much more complete.
So the head twirl, it looks like it's easy. And if you put your head the right way, you'll feel fine. If you try to twirl the other way, you're gonna feel really dizzy. So you wanna be sure that you always head twirl the same way as you're twirling. So I'm rotating this way when I get up, so that's the same way my head's gonna go. If I try to go this way and rotate my head the other way, it's gonna throw you way off. Yeah, so when you're up here and you're about to go, the head twirl goes here, right there, and head twirl.
So into that extended arm.
Yes, into the pole and into the extended arm, yes.
So before we move on any further, many people would agree that it is very important to pull on both sides.
Yes.
So why don't we all practice Nadia's spin that she just taught you on the opposite side.
Right, so I've been explaining this. I should always explain it with inside, outside, not right and left. So inside would be the one closest to the pole, and outside will be the one furthest from the pole. So same thing. We'll start with our inside hand nice and low. Don't judge me. And right, inside, outside, inside, and V. And all the way around.
The same.
Ta-da! Yeah, it takes a little more mental capacity, but definitely try it on both sides. You don't want to be sore on one side because you will. You'll feel it.
So why don't we turn up the music for just about 30 seconds and let all of our pullers practice their new spin on both sides.
Yes, that's a good idea.
While Nadia shakes her booty.
So remember, inside, outside, inside, and up. You can do it.
Go ahead, you can do it.
Yeah?
This is also a campaign commercial. I know.
Yes. Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through the beginner and intermediate version, all these principles are still really important for the advanced. So what we're going to do is the prep is still the same. Still holding on, still grabbing on the outside, still using the outside hip up. This time we're not going to hold our position. Okay, and we're going to do a flare, what I like to call a flare. So it goes back to this. You're going to grab on, you're going to kick the outside leg, showing the hip, then you're going to flare through your biggest V. Okay, a lot of times people cut this off and they go, do, do. Doesn't look as cool in my opinion. And it really looks good when you go, wow, as wide as you can. And then bring it around, show the other hip, tuck. Now to land, you're gonna have to switch back. Okay, so this part gets pretty confusing. That's why this is the advanced version. So let's take a minute to sit on the floor and try to understand the legs. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pretend like we're walking into the helicopter. So normally when I go into it, I'm on this side of the pole, so I'm gonna start sitting like this. And if you start on this side of the pole, start with your outside legs away from it.
Can you pull your pants up? It's hard to see your legs on the floor with your black pants.
Maybe I'll take this off.
Okay.
So y'all can see me better.
Yeah.
You can see what's going on.
Blending in with the hardwood floors.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same fan kick we were doing in the warm-up. If you missed the warm-up, this is your chance to learn it. And tuck back. This is the entire spin. So you start and end in the same position. Same. So you're going to start, one hip, V, other hip, tuck. Not done yet. Switch back. Yeah? So let's try it just one or two more times because I promise you this is not easier flying than it is on the floor. Let's try it one more time. So we'll go one leg, outside hip, V, inside hip, tuck, and switch. Yeah? If you get really good at this, you can fit more than one in, but let's go one step at a time. So I'll show what it looks like. Same approach. And that's the advanced version. So there's a lot to fit in during this air time. All right, so we'll break it down. Start the same way we were starting the other spin, the V helicopter. So we'll step inside. We'll start with this outside leg. So if you're coming this way, same thing, outside leg. Okay, not right and left. Outside, you're gonna go through your V. You're gonna show this hip. You're gonna bend and bring both to the original direction. So it's kind of hard if you don't get the legs. This is why this is the advanced version. Let's try it one more time, I'll show. So this is the advanced version of this spin. I call this kind of a flare, teaser, helicopter. I don't really have a name for it either. So if you have any suggestions, I'd be very appreciative. And I'll probably use them in some form or another. Are there any questions out there?
If anyone has any questions for Nadia, please be sure to type them in to the chat room. Sonia Zordan, I don't know where, from Argentina.
Oh, nice.
Says that the grip you're using is a new way to grip the pole for her.
Yes, this whole style and approach is very different. A lot of people I've heard call this a cup grip or a true grip, like in a handspring. I've always referred to it as a Chinese style, but that comes from the handspring also, like this. So it is a different approach. Most people are used to using this sort of grip, but I promise you, I almost cannot do a helicopter this way. It's very difficult for me to spin, and the approach is very different as well. So if you're used to doing a helicopter with a normal grip, the approach is usually to get a big pull-up, overshoot, and then let yourself slide, and just hope that you spin all the way down. But using this approach, you really can't hold on like this even if you wanted to. Yeah, so it's very difficult. That's what kind of makes it easier to let the pole slide through your hands while you're still holding on. Also, this grip promotes pushing. This kind of helps as well. It doesn't require as much energy in the biceps to have to pull up. It's more about placing it into the bicep and ribs and using this hand to keep your face away. So you want to push. And when I'm spinning, I almost don't hold on with this hand. I'm kind of just letting it happen right here. So that's something that you might want to pay attention to kind of feel more comfortable in it. It's going to feel a little bit funny. When I first started spinning this way, I used to start regular and halfway through flip my hand. And people were like, why do you do that? It's like, I don't know, I can't spin any other way. I won't spin. So maybe for you, it would be nice to start this way, and when you feel like you're comfortable, just make a quick switch. Yeah, so this way you can kind of feel the difference of the grip.
Can you do the helicopter again?
The V helicopter, sure. So walk and scissor. So if you notice, it's kind of more in my armpit than it is in either of my hands.
I'm also noticing that your bottom hand doesn't stay fully gripped around the pole. You're starting to let it open a little bit.
Yeah, I don't hold on with it. I can't spin if I hold my hands too tight. You know, as pole dancers, we get really good grips. And it's almost an art to learn how to let your grip slide without falling.
So do you want to go over the advanced version one more time and maybe go over a quick way to get out of that one?
Yeah, so the advanced version, I would probably get up the same way as the intermediate version because it's the same landing. But we're going to do the flare and land. Tuck. And I'll get up onto my knee and probably get up the same way. The nice thing about this get up is that you're rotating the same way, so it looks like you're just spinning and spinning. And I like the way that looks, kind of fluid.
Okay, so why don't we, with our new trick, turn the music up and let our polar bears out there try their new spin on both sides while Nadia demonstrates for you the spin on her opposite sides.
Okay. So just real quick, in case you want to see all the spins.
That was the beginner version. That was the advanced, the intermediate version. That was the advanced version. Does anyone out there have any more questions for Nadia? We do have one question. Do you have any videos on YouTube?
Yeah! I don't have any instructional videos on YouTube, but stay tuned for a Professor Poll for that. And I have lots of YouTube videos. You could probably just YouTube Nadia Poll, and they'll pop up.
Sonia Zordan, you can find Nadia Sharif on Facebook under Dia Zarif.
Hey,
She'll also be on the Professor Poll Show teaching us some more online lessons in the very near future. Lean Isabel, one of my favorite polar bears out there, has a question for Nadia. In the intermediate version, do you land more on your bottom or on the side of your hip?
Side of the hip. It really depends on your strength too and how your leg lifts are. If you feel like your leg lifts start to get lazy or tired, it tends to happen especially if you wear heels, you might end up leaning back a little more. So it's not wrong to land on your back. To be honest, if I did this spin in a routine, I would probably land in 3 different places if I did it in 3 different places in my routine. Like the beginning, I'd probably land on my hip or at the side of my leg. Did it in the middle, I might land in my lower back. If I did it at the end of my routine, I'd probably land on my back. So just depending on how strong or tired you are, how fast you're going.
Okay, so can you do a quick cool down for us?
Yeah, so one of the best stretches I like to do when I'm cooling down, standing really close to the pole, as close as you can. Lean forward. If you have to bend a leg to get in, that's fine. Try to get your back against the pole. Reach up. Grab onto the pole and dip your bottom away. And you can slowly kind of lean against it. This is a really good skill to have in pole anywheres where you can get your back against the pole. Then we'll turn around and just give a light arch. Pushing your hands. You can rock your hips side to side. Good.